Good evening, hockey fans, NCDC players, parents, families, coaches, general managers, owners, and hockey world. College scouts as well. I'm sure there's a lot of eyes on screens right now as we get ready to unveil the NCDC All-Star rosters for the game coming up on Martin Luther King Day. That's January 21st, 2019 at Merrimack College's Lawler Arena. Dan K, Lucas Jones will be on the call for one of the best events all year long in the game of hockey, the NCDC All-Star Game. This is going to be a fun one. Second annual NCDC All-Star Game. Team American taking on Team National. Leading the way for Team American will be Toby Harris from the Jersey Hitmen. He'll be assisted by Ryan Frew, taking the assistant coach nod from the New Hampshire Junior Monarchs. Coaches of Team National, Mike Anderson, the head coach for the second year in a row. From the Boston Junior Bruins, he'll be assisted by Dan K Show favorite coach, Jim Henkel of the Connecticut Junior Rangers. Lucas, we talked about these two coaching staffs. Let's start there. Toby Harris, Ryan Frew, two guys that are loud, proud, two guys that talk to their boys, two guys with some personality, two guys with some je ne vivre, some panache. Then we talk about Mike Anderson and Jim Henkel, and they're more of the Lucas Jones style, the soft-spoken in the sense of how they get their message across. They're more going to go X's and O's with you. They're going to talk it through. They're going to keep that even keel on the bench, right?
Yeah, talking to Jim Henkel a little bit at the Winter Showcase, he was telling me, definitely approaching this with a little bit of strategy. They've already been trying to figure out which lines they're going to throw out there on the ice, and even doing all the Connecticut Junior Rangers games we've done. He is such an X's and O's coach, and I mean, Mike Anderson, the guy can write you a sonnet without saying anything, with just body language and a couple of glances. So, I mean, this is definitely a coaching staff that I feel like is more in vein with how I would coach a hockey team.
Well, I feel like Toby Harris and Ryan Frew are a little bit more in vein with how I would coach a hockey team. I'm feeling a little something right here. I think that I'm going to call Team American, I'll call him Team Dan K, because I'll take Team American before I even look at the roster, before we even unveil it. You cool taking Team National?
Sounds good to me.
Want to let something ride on this? Something fun?
Yeah, I think so.
We'll figure it out. We're going to let you guys know on our next Dan K Show episode next Thursday. We're going to give you a little unveiling on what we might just be wagering for fun on here. It'll be a nice fun thing. Last time we had a wager, Lucas had to eat the hottest chip in the world. We'll figure out something fun for this one. But with that in mind, we've had our start, we've had our open, we've introduced the coaching staffs for both teams. Let's see who they will be coaching on the ice. We start with the Team American forwards. First off, let's go to our first three listed here. Philip Elkstam, the first nod from the Jersey Hitmen, a year 98. This guy is putting up points in bunches, even keel with his goals and assists. Then Aiden Curran from the New Hampshire Junior Monarchs. Ryan Frew gets his man Aiden Curran, a University of New Hampshire commitment. Finally, Dan K favorite, a beauty, Remy Parker. He's been a Dan K Show star of the game. This kid is absolutely dominant. You put him on a face-off, he's going to win it 10 times out of 10.
Yeah, and these three, you can almost see like where this team is starting to go, right? You're going to have a great mix of skaters who can score and guys who can find you with the assist. Aiden Curran, big assist man up there in New Hampshire, and we all know the power of the Jersey Hitmen forwards to be able to score goals.
Let's get to our next triumvirate here. Jacob Lorin, New Hampshire Junior Monarchs. Congratulations, Jacob, another 98 here. This guy loves to get involved in a power play. He's going to be an assist man, a goal man on the power play. You take a penalty in an All-Star game, you're having too much fun, first of all. You gotta stay out of the box in an All-Star game. But if they do get a power play chance, watch out for Jacob Lorin. Antoine Belial of the Jersey Hitmen there, another year 98, followed by Trent DiNuccio. DiNuccio gets in for the New Hampshire Junior Monarchs. How about this triumvirate?
I mean, this is going to be a good one, too. You look at a guy like Antoine Belial, and he's effective, I think, both not just on the power play, but he's gotten a little short-handed magic, too. So this is definitely a grouping of three that, Team National is going to have a really, really hard time dealing with.
Again, 12 forwards will be named to each team, 6 to go. We've named 6 more to go. Number 7 here, Matthew Gervase, and this guy is a breakaway specialist. This guy gets loose, he makes things happen, got the stick skills, got the speed, and he's got the eyes. Watch this guy all day long in an all-star format. He may just be my star, my opportunity here for a player of the game. Matthew Gervase just may be the guy to get it. He's joined by Zachary Mazur of the Rochester Monarchs and Mickey Burns. Mickey Burns, the best name from a Jersey Hitmen player of all time. Mickey Burns. I love this guy. If it doesn't work out in the ice, it's going to work out as a croon singer, man. He's going to be singing Sinatra tunes. But Mickey Burns, I think it's going to work out for him on the ice. Burns is a University of Vermont commit.
Yeah, University of Vermont commit, and a 2000, you know, so he's a little bit of a younger guy too, and you love to see that out of these younger guys. But if you go back up to Zachary Mazur, Rochester Monarchs player, he can handle the pressure, Dan. He's got a shootout game winner. You need guys like that on your team, and again, I think we're looking at a really good grouping of three here.
And congrats to Dan K Show super fan Carol Sisti for the Mickey Burns nod here. Mickey Burns, that's her guy right there, making it in from the Jersey Hitmen. Finally, our final three forwards named to Team American, coached by Toby Harris and Ryan Frew. Leading the way, starting the way, Ryan Sorkin from the New Jersey Rockets, a Dartmouth commit. Ivy Leaguer, smart kid. This is going to be a guy you want in your fourth line here. Dylan Rallis will rally this line in with the Syracuse Stars. Year 98, that makes things happen. And finally, the last forward, the final forward to make it to this Team American squad from the New Jersey Rockets, Casey Sottinella. Sottinella gets his way onto the roster. Well-deserved here from Sottinella.
Yeah, and I love seeing a couple of Rockets players. They're my Bridgewater boys. They're right down the street from me. And, you know, watching guys like Ryan Sorkin and Casey Sottinella. Sorkin's got that Dartmouth commit. And, I mean, these guys, they can score goals. They can play both sides of the ice. They got a handful of game-winning goals between them. I mean, I love to see these, especially these two guys getting selected to the All-Star game. They really deserve it.
It's well-deserved. This Rockets team started hot, slowed down of late, but not, these two gentlemen just continue to put the puck in the back of the net. We go to the defensemen now. First, Dartmouth commit, Jersey Hitmen, Tanner Palasek. Easy pick. Easy pick. This guy, and I think the second pick here, even easier. Brett Callahan, you had to put them together. Brett Callahan, Tanner Palasek of the Jersey Hitmen. Two guys that, since Cam Boudreau left for college, he's playing now with Quinnipiac. Congrats to Cam Boudreau. But since he left, I think this is now your top D pair in the NCDC. Tanner Palasek, Brett Callahan, Dartmouth, and AIC commits.
Yeah, I mean, and what a fearsome defensive pair. You know, two guys from the Jersey Hitmen, when your first two defensemen are from the same team, and what does that say about the program that the Hitmen have going on over there in Wayne?
Oh, it's incredible work down there by the Hitmen. We move on. Mick Hennigan
knows where he needs to be on the ice to kind of leverage that size.
Oh, yeah, it reminds me of Duzak back in the day. You know, that Mick Hennigan's a very Duzak-style guy. Loves to score the puck from the defensive position. All right, our next D pair here I'm excited about. Jersey Hitmen star defenseman Colin Heinold. This guy puts the game on a hold when he's on the ice. You ain't scoring when Heinold's out there. He's joined by a guy who riles him up all day long. Comes into the nick of time, Nick Dorilea.
Dorilea is such a physical presence, and Heinold as well. You know, he's got 21 points on the season. Both physical players, both guys are going to be looking to mix it up quite a bit at the All-Star game.
Yeah, and Dorilea is someone who stands out to you when he's out there on the ice. He's one of the great defensemen in this league. He's somebody you can trust, right? And anybody who the cooler, like Mac in Always Sunny, where he says, I'm the cooler, doing ocular pat-downs. He's the ocular pat-down guy. Dorilea comes up at the nick of time.
Yeah, absolutely. These two are going to be fun to watch.
And it's always so hard. It's so hard, folks, to find defensemen and say who's an all-star, right? Because if a defenseman's good, you don't hear from them a lot, right? You look at the guys like McDonough in the NHL, right? And they're guys who skate out there for half the game, but you don't hear from them a ton because they're just where they need to be. Shots aren't getting on net, and the plus-minus just say plus, 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 plus. We go down to one more. We have +1. One more defenseman. The final defenseman to make it to Team American from the New Hampshire Junior Monarchs, Hubert Bork. Bork makes it here. Got a great hockey last name, and Bork's got a great game down there on the ice. This is going to be one of those defensive guys in an all-star game that's going to play the defense all day long.
Yeah, I just got a chance. We both got a chance to watch him actually at the Winter Showcase, and I think there's no better pick for that roving defenseman, right? We always talk about that extra guy that can mix and match with any pair out there on the ice. You send him out there. He's almost like your specialist, right?
Yep.
You give him the nod from the end of the bench, and he gives you a nod back, gets out there and makes an impact.
Let's go to the net. Let's go to the netminders here, and this is where I'm so excited about this team. You look at this threesome of goaltenders here. Last year we had a shutout in the All-Star game. Jana Peretz was involved in that. A guy that's going to be on the other team. He'll be on Team National. I'll break that news for you early. But we look at this squad here with Team American. These netminders, first off leading the way, Hitmen netminder leading the league in goals against average right now with a 1.85. It is Evan Zari.
Yeah, and a guy from the Hitmen, uncommitted right now. He's a 2000. I mean, with the goals against average that low, it's already hard enough to play the hitman, right? Let's say you make it through the forwards, and then let's say for a second you make it through those defensemen, right? Then you got to compete with Evan here, and even if you can get a shot on Evan, odds are it's not going in the net.
Oh man, this guy just stops everything. Working so well, slots up into that top spot for the hitman, and has had no trouble since taking over the helm there as the top netminder in Jersey. Moving down the list here, number 2 goaltender, who's number 1 in everyone's hearts, the only member of the 2-time Dan K Show Star of the Game Club. This guy's got double the hats, double the fun, double the ability. New Hampshire Monarchs goaltender Matt Pasquale. Big time star for him here.
Yeah, I mean, he's got a shutout under his belt. He's a guy who can succeed in high pressure situations. Again, had a great display at the Winter Showcase there. Had a lot of fun watching him, and you know, excited to see what he can do against Team National.
One last goaltender, one last spot. So many great ones to pick from these organizations, but I think this one had to go. And this is a guy who I've said before. I don't mean it to be a comparison solely because of where he derives from in Sweden. But very similar to a Henrik Lundqvist style of play, very Hank-style netminder, stays deep in his net, plays the puck, and makes some big saves day in and day out. You got to beat him high if you're going to beat the guy. Hand down, man down. Callie Anderson from the Islanders Hockey Club gets that final spot. That's the final spot on Team American. Callie Anderson from the Islanders Hockey Club. Take a look there at home at your big-time Team American, Team Dan K, hashtag Let's Go Dan K, Let's Go Team American. That's not the whole hashtag. Just go hashtag Team Dan K. This is Team Dan K, man. I'm excited about these guys. I think I might have a chance to win this one.
Well, you might. I mean, we have to see what Team National will bring, but before we get there, let's shoot to an interview that I was able to get with Coach Toby Harris. Talking right now with Coach Toby Harris, the New Jersey Hitmen, also going to be the coach of Team American, otherwise known as Team Dan K. For he's kind of adopted you guys as his own team. First of all, Coach, thank you for joining us, and congratulations on your selection to the staff.
Appreciate you being here.
You've had a lot of experience with All-Stars, All-Star games and selections, so you know, what is it like? What can you bring to this All-Star experience?
I feel like I'm the old guard now. You know, I've been doing this now for about a dozen years, and you know, what's really cool is talking to all the coaches. And you know, in season, it's one of those things where you're calling guys if there's a trade or you know, a move that you need to make in season. But this is more of a reason to have fun with the guys and talk to them about their players and the intricacies of what each guy brings. And so for me, it's really in a high stress job with, you know, where everything is measured with wins and losses. It's getting back to having fun, like playing out back and, you know, thinking you're in Game 7. It's the same type of situation in my mind.
What kind of strategy goes into coaching players you've never really coached, you've only played against, and have you talked to Coach Frew at all about what you're going to employ?
Ryan and I talked immediately after the chopping up, per se, of the teams happened. And we talked about the guys that we definitely thought were guys that were automatically in, and then we had a lot of conversations about guys on other teams that, you know, we wanted to see what they would bring to the lines that we were kind of putting together. You know, so we have had a lot of chats, and you know, what's interesting this year about our club is there are a lot of forward lines that you have 2 guys from each team and then kind of singles out there. So what we're trying to do now, and we'll talk to the players prior to the game about where they feel most comfortable in what position, because you know, when you get 12 forwards, you could have 6 centers, but you know, I think we've done a pretty good job kind of weeding that out from the start.
So, Coach, in other sports All-Star games, you sometimes see coaches having a little fun with the playbook and the players. Do you have anything special up your sleeve for this game?
You know, Ryan and I have talked about a lot of different things, but you know, we have to keep that a secret. We don't want Mike Anderson and Jimmy Henkel on the other side getting a jump on the American team taking this thing home. But you know, I think the most important thing is to put players in the positions that they can flourish in and show their best. I mean, you know, if you got a left-handed shot coming in who plays right wing, we're going to try to get him on that side. You know, if we have 6 centers, we're going to talk to each guy before the game and see if they're comfortable playing on the left side or on the right side, and just put them in the best situation to succeed. Because I think it's very important in this type of game, when you have the best players in the league, for those guys to get the best opportunity to show what they have.
All right, and kind of last question for you. So this is a little bit of a grind for some players. You know, they show up early, they leave late, and there's a lot in between. But what can a player expect to get out of this All-Star game? Why should they be looking forward to the experience?
Well, I think you're going to get all the top schools in the East at this event. You're going to get all the top Division III, Division I schools from the Northeast at this event. So with having such a captive audience, I think these guys should be laser focused. Like, this is Game 7 of, you know, the Stanley Cup Championships. I mean, there's not an opportunity to get all of these people in one building like this very much at any level. I say to my guys all the time downstairs, you know, you just sometimes need that extra push, like pushing over a Coke machine. You got to move it back and forth until you get that extra push, get that momentum to tip it over. I look at the All-Star game as an opportunity to get that extra push, to get that extra momentum for guys to possibly get a real good Division I or Division III college deal. If you can flourish against the top guys on the other team, go out and score a few goals, go out and make 15 saves, it might be the little extra that gets them to where these guys want to be. And I think there's a lot of great players in the league, and I think an event like this could be that little extra push that they need to get to the spot.
Coach, thanks for joining us. Good luck on Monday.
Thanks, Lucas.
Welcome back, hockey fans. To all of you who have made it on a Team American, congratulations, and get a W for Dan K, because that's Team Dan K. It's now time to unveil Team Lucas Jones. Before I unveil a roster, Lucas, how good are you feeling about the boys that Mike Anderson and Jim Henkel have put together?
I got to be honest, I've seen a lot of these players pretty recently between my time up in Connecticut at the Winter Showcase and the last few USPHL events. From what I've seen on the ice, I feel like my team has a really good chance to, how do you say, absolutely demolish your team.
Oh, no shot. Toby Harris doesn't lose. Ryan Frew is not a guy that takes kindly to big L's next to his name. These guys put up W's, and we're looking for a George when we come to game day right there. I'm going to make that trend eventually. Georges are going to be known as W's. We're going to get W's, you get a George every once in a while. But these guys got W's. 12 forwards are getting named to the All-Star team. Team National head coach Mike Anderson of the Boston Junior Bruins, assisted by Jim Henkel of the Connecticut Junior Rangers. Let's go for Team National. Forward line number 1, it is 3 Boston Junior Bruins, and I think everybody in the world knew these 3 were going to make this team. First, Johnny Hockey Molera. Johnny Hockey Molera, can't say enough about this Providence commit. This kid's unrealistic, he's unreal, he's fast, he never gives up, scores the puck in bunches, and he's got a flow that you just gotta know. It's so good, man. This guy gets the job done. Then you go to Sasha Persukko, the world junior star, big-time scorer. Sasha Persukko is going to put a couple in the net, I'm sure. And he's joined by Robbie Griffin, the Northeastern commit, the youngster from Northeastern who just doesn't stop. The speed from these 3, they're not going to stop. They're going to be relentless.
Between Parasunko, you know, just getting back from his little trip overseas, and, you know, the 3 of these guys with the speed that they have, the one thing that I love that might get overlooked about these 3 is their power play numbers.
Yeah.
And I know that you don't have a lot of power plays in an all-star game, but what that tells me is that these guys know their systems, they know how to play with each other, and they know where to put themselves on the ice to be successful.
Oh, you're not going to have any problem getting goals from this top line here. It's going to be so fun to watch how Mike Anderson makes these guys work. Will he mix them up with some of the other stars that we're about to name? We will see. We go to our next threesome here, our next triumvirate. Riley Pratzen of the Boston Junior Bruins makes the squad. Riley Pratzen, this guy can also score in bunches, even score, even keel guy. He's okay creating, he's okay scoring, he'll do anything he needs to in this line. He's going to have a lot of creativity. Matt Allen, Providence commit, joins him. Matt Allen, Boston Junior Bruins, Matty A, as we've been calling him all year, like Matty Ice. Allen has ice in his veins, man, when he gets out there. He's ruthless, and he's a winner. Joining him, finally, from the Connecticut Junior Rangers, he's on all the time. He's Colin Sline. Colin Sline slides in with a 6 forward spot here.
Yeah, this is another great grouping. You've got Riley Pratzen, who's going to Trinity, Matt Allen committed to Providence, and, you know, these guys, they're big on the assist. You look at this second line, and it looks like they're bunching guys up a little bit just so they can spread them apart, right? So you've got these assists on this second line. These guys know where to put the puck. They know where to find guys, right? And we've gotten to see, especially the Connecticut Junior Rangers and Colin Sline, get to see him in person. And I got to tell you, he's all over the ice.
That's right. We go now to their 7th, 8th, and 9th forwards. Again, 12 forwards on this squad. Connecticut Junior Rangers forward Otto Cox. Otto Cox is a guy that, one of those mid-range forwards, size-wise, height-wise, who plays like he's 7 feet tall. He's great on the puck, real strong lower half, tough to get him off it when he's got the puck on hand, and he's going to play this game like he's 7 feet tall. He's not afraid to take on any comers there. Going on with him is Connecticut Junior Rangers star Noah Strawn, and this guy has been strong all year long, and he's basically got enough apples this year to start an orchard. He's a great forward there for the Connecticut Junior Rangers. Finally, Strawn is joined by his teammate Ong. Brad Ong gets onto the team here from the Connecticut Junior Rangers. It's a triumvirate of Junior Rangers on a team that scores quickly when they get going.
Yeah, and we've joked, especially with Coach Jim Henkel, about Strawn to Ong, how difficult that is to do in a play-by-play sense. So he said, you know what? I'm going to put them on the same team together. These guys are not getting a break. We are excited to see this Connecticut Junior Rangers line play together.
Now we go to our final three here with Jack Brackett of the Boston Bandits, one of my favorite goal call names in the league, Jack Brackett. Brackett, the RPI commit there from the Boston Bandits. Brackett is one of the most skilled forwards I've seen in this NCDC. When he gets loose, man, he's a highlight reel waiting to happen. You put him in an event like this, I can guarantee you Jack Brackett put some highlights up. He's joined by Zach Jones. Who?
Zach Jones.
Who?
Zach Jones.
Who?
Zach Jones.
Zach Jones is who joins him there. The Zach Attack is on, and Zach Attack is back, Jack. And this guy's a UNH commit, University of New Hampshire commit from the Boston Bandits, and he's going to steal some goals as well. One more forward here. And it's Zach the Bomb. Ray Bomb. This guy is going to be bombing pucks from all over the ice. He's not afraid to shoot. There are 12 forwards who can score on this team, and Ray Bomb from the Northern Cyclones is a Cyclone out there. This will be a fun line to watch.
Yeah, exactly. I'm excited to get a couple of Zach Attack goals. That really is the Zach Attack line right here.
Zach Attack and Jack.
Yeah, exactly. You can't put a better line together in terms of first names. You can't put a better line together in terms of statistics. These guys are all even keel in the scoring, handful of game-winning goals between them, great on even strength. This might be the game-changer line, Dan.
And it's going to be fun to see because we're calling them lines right now because this is just how it was handed to us as a roster. I mean, this is how we could envision it being. But you're going to get to see kind of how both of these coaching staffs really deal with these forwards, right? The D pairs, D-men can deal with anybody. They'll go out there, they'll play with their mate. Those guys are just going to go to it. They're going to play this all-star game as best they can and try to hatch back, play as much defense as you can, stop as many as you can. But for these forwards, man, you can get a bit nifty, you can get a bit creative. It's going to be fun to see just what Mike Anderson and Jim Henkel can do with this group. Now we go to the defensemen, the nitty-gritty. There's 8 of them. Why is there 8? Why are there 8 defensemen if there's 7 on Team American? Oh, that's right, because number 1 got picked on the team right before he went off for college. Quinnipiac star Cam Boudreau. Cam Boudreau, the first pick. Congrats to Cam for making the All-Star team, but lights Cam Boudreau heads off now and is playing at Quinnipiac. How cool is that for him?
Yeah, that's really an insane kind of situation here where you're playing for a team, right? You're doing really well. You've got the whole season ahead of you, and then Quinnipiac comes down and says, "Hey, do you mind coming up and playing for us halfway through the season?" So congratulations to Cam.
Congrats, Cam. That's what this is all about, right? It's about getting to the next level. Cam does it. Expedited trip here. Cam Boudreau going to be a big help up there in Quinnipiac. We go on now to the defenseman who will play in the game. Let's start there. And how about Cam Boudreau's former line mate, Luke Rowe, the Boston Junior Bruins. Luke Rowe, the first one there, and he's joined by his new line mate since the loss of Cam Boudreau. It's Merrimack commit Mike Brown. Mike Brown and Luke Rowe, your first 2 defensemen there. That'll be a nice D pair for Mike Anderson's squad.
Yeah, and I love defensemen who get involved from the blue line. Luke Rowe, Mike Brown, 2 guys that are going to be involved from the D line. They've got the stats to prove it. Got to see him play a little bit. Luke Rowe especially. He is an absolute monster up there and knows where to feed the puck.
Moving on to our next D pair from the Connecticut Junior Rangers, Alex Sheehy. Alex Sheehy, big commit here, a big opportunity here for Alex Sheehy to go get a commitment out of this one. This is a guy who I've loved watching all year. He's a defenseman that plays defense, and when he gets involved in the offensive side, he's usually creating for his forwards.
Yeah, exactly. You know, you got to use every single skill available to you. Sheehy is a true Swiss Army knife of a defenseman.
And he'll be joined by another Swiss Army knife of a defenseman from the South Shore Kings. How about Sebastian Jana? Jana here from down under. This guy gets it done from all over the ice, gets to the blue line, plays both sides. He's a real solid defenseman.
Yeah, great find in Sebastian Jana. You know, he's a 98, and he's a guy, again, the stats don't tell the whole story, right? He's got the intangibles, he's got the presence, he's kind of got a little bit of everything.
Finally, we go here to our next D pair from the PAL Junior Islanders, Devin Kasparek here. This guy, Kasparek, has been so good, so strong. We just got a chance to see him. He'll be joined by Artem Borschov. And Borschov is... I have waxed poetic about this young man from the Northern Cyclones since day one of seeing him play. He's a leader. I still remember a play where one of his guys got hit, and he came in, didn't cheap shot anybody, but he skated right up to a guy and verbally just basically gave him the business without having to be dirty, without having to be physical, without anything other than just showing that leadership quality. And you can see that Northern Cyclones team led by Bill Flanagan woke up. They came back. They won that game. They were down 2 goals at the time of that play. Took advantage of the power play, and Borschov scored on that power play. This is a Cyclones team. This is a guy that, for the Cyclones, plays a huge role.
Yeah, and I think that makes Borschov a great fit for Team National. Team Lucas Jones here just goes right up to a guy and says, "Hey, I didn't like that very much," and then goes back and scores on him. That's that understated presence that you love to have on the defensive side.
Love me some Artie Borschov, and this is the final defenseman to make the All-Star team. Getting his way on from the Boston Bandits, it's Lyndon Alger, El Capitan. Lyndon Alger, he jumps in here, and this is another guy who, from the blue line, a point blast is dangerous. These guys can score so much from the blue line in this game.
Yeah, he can skate with anybody out there on the defensive side of the ice. He can skate in all situations. Really heady player, so very happy to see that he made the All-Star team.
Time for the netminders. You know, the guys who the media loves so much, the guys who tend to get interviewed a lot after games because the W's go next to their name. Starting with one guy who's got a lot of W's, 17 to be exact, 17-6-0. I leaked it a little bit earlier in the broadcast, but I think everyone might have known this guy was going to make it. He's a Quinnipiac commit. He's got a .933 saves percentage. He's got shutouts galore. He stops everything that moves. It's Yaniv Peretz of the Boston Junior Bruins. This guy was a part of a shutout last year, and I mean, every time he's out, he's a walking shutout habit.
Yeah, calm, cool, and collected in that no matter what the situation is. You know, one of the biggest things for a goaltender is the ability to clear your head after a goal gets by you, and he's one of the guys with one of the shortest memories I've ever seen.
Next up, we go to Connecticut Junior Rangers goaltender Colton Lancaster. It sounds like this guy's got a name that's regal. This guy sounds like somebody who he was a king in a past life. This guy's got monarchy all over him, and he reigns in net. You can see it. He's a leader in net. You feel calm as a team playing in front of him, and Jim Henkel gets his own guy in net. You can see, you always know a goaltender's good. How many times are coaches mad at kickers in football and goaltenders in hockey and pitchers in baseball, right? So in hockey, the goaltender's always the one the coach is mad at. When you see 2 coaches coaching a team with their own netminders in net, you know these guys are good.
Yeah, you know, it's certainly going to be interesting, too, because I'm sure for these guys it's an all-star game, but then you look over to the bench and your coach is still staring at you. That's got to be a little more pressure for these guys.
It's got to be. You got to stand up tall. But these 2 guys have done it all year with those guys behind the bench. The final member of either all-star team. There's one more spot left. It is a goaltender spot. It is, it would be bad if a host waited a little bit for this, right? Because people are watching at home. They want to know if they've made the team.
No, it'd be awful for the people watching at home. I mean, only one more spot, and just to continue to drag it out, I have to imagine that there'd be nothing worse.
So let's get to it. The final netminder spot, and congratulations to everyone to make the team. It is the man, the myth. It's Connor McAnanama from the Boston Bandits. McAnanama, tough name to say, and he's going to test us on the broadcast just like he does every time we do a Bandits game.
Yeah, there are certain names that no matter how many times you say them, they're always tough. I mean, this guy's got a couple of shutouts, a great saves percentage, and more Annas than a banana, so it should be pretty interesting with him out there.
And McAnanama, he's a smart goaltender, right? This is somebody who's always got the right angle. He's never out of place, never out of position, and he plays the game with his head and then reacts with the body. And that's what you love to see with a goaltender. You feel comfortable knowing that if you can put the shots in if you put the players in bad spots to shoot from him, you give him the ability to catch the angle, to put himself against the post, you trust he's going to be in the right spot. He's not going to get bad beats. He doesn't get badly beat much. And this is a goaltender from the Boston Bandits that will give teams trouble. And with that in mind, we go to a little bit of a phone interview that Lucas has with head coach of the Connecticut Junior Rangers and Dan K's show favorite of all time, Jim Henkel.
Joining me on the phone right now is coach of the NCDC Connecticut Junior Rangers, Coach Jim Henkel. Coach, thanks for taking time out of your busy week to talk to me.
No problem. Pleasure is all mine.
So, I mean, first of all, congratulations on being named one of the coaches of the All-Star Game, the NCDC All-Star Game. You're going to be coaching Team National with Mike Anderson of the Boston Junior Bruins. Unofficially, Dan and I have adopted teams. He's taken Team American. I've taken Team National. So you're going to be playing for the unofficial Team Lucas Jones for this one.
You picked the right team, that's for sure, Lucas. Dan usually has some good picks, but I think he made an error on this one.
Yeah, I'd have to agree. Coaching in your first ever All-Star game, a little bit newer to the NCDC, but very new to an All-Star game. So how does it feel to be selected? What are you kind of looking forward to?
I'm excited. I'm excited to interact with the other coaches. I'm excited to kind of hear their philosophies, and I'm excited to interact with the other players. There's some really, really talented players in our league, and the fact that you get to be behind the bench and watch some of these kids play at the pace and the skill level that they have is really exciting for me to be around. And if you learn something from a player or a coach, it's always beneficial. And hopefully, I learned something out of the weekend. And it's just a treat when you get to be behind the bench with those talented kids. So I'm really looking forward to it.
So speaking of some of the talent you're going to have, I mean, you're going to be coaching not only some of your kids, but, players that you've really either only seen, in film or in games and kids you've competed against. So what's going to be your approach to trying to put some lines together or trying to coach kids that you haven't really had a lot of experience with?
Coaching-wise, it's not necessarily about, the interaction as far as how much you've, spent time behind the bench with them. Obviously, with Mike and myself coaching, we've got players coming along. They'll probably play together. We'll do our best to keep teammates together just for the continuity aspect. And then Mike and I will kind of sit and brainstorm a little bit and find out, whose attributes that doesn't have a particular line works well with the other attributes of the players coming in. My guess is going through it and talking with Mike, looking at some of the players that were selected. It's going to be pretty easy for us to kind of gather a couple lines real quick. And then from there, some stuff is really set up for us to be successful with the other guys that are going to be joining us outside of our teams. And it'll be fun. And then, it doesn't always have to stay with the way you started. And I think that's kind of the beauty of it, is integrating some guys with some different guys and giving them the opportunity to play with different players, let them showcase themselves a little bit more with that aspect as well.
Yeah, so it is, it is a competitive game, but it is also fun. So, what are you guys planning on throwing any non-traditional strategies out there? Maybe messing around with some of the forward lines, getting some guys playing with each other on defense that haven't really gotten a chance to?
Yeah, I think so. For my aspect of it, I know Mike Anderson is a huge fan of the 1-3-1 forecheck. So we may implement that to try and slow down, the hitman crew there. It's just something different, something fun. But at the same time, I think, all joking aside, it's a competitive game, and the kids that are coming to play all have that very competitive nature, and they're going to want to win. So we're going to do our best to have as much fun as we can behind the bench, but coach them properly so that they have the best chance to win and showcase themselves, to the collegiate scouts that are going to be there. And that's where I really think a big part of this comes in for the players is, they get another chance to showcase themselves, with the best of the best in our league. And hopefully they're all able to put forward a good effort, and really kind of give themselves a little extra push with some of the colleges.
So the last question I have for you is, the All-Star Day is a little bit of a grind, right? Players show up, earlier for a little bit of media stuff, and then
They have the warm-ups and the game themselves, and of course, you know, they're taking time out of their weeks in between a busy season to come out. So why does a game like this matter? Why should kids be coming into this event and throwing 110% out there on the ice?
Well, it's an accolade, right? Every time you put a resume together, you know, they ask you, you know, have you participated in anything outside of the norm? And for a lot of these players going forward for their hockey career resume, this is going to be, you know, a really bright spot on their resume. You know, how they perform in the game is going to be duly noted, and coaches are going to take notice. Yeah, it's a long day between the travel in for some of the kids and the media and the warm up, and then, you know, you're playing the game. It's also another opportunity to play a game you love with some really talented players to have a lot of fun. And for me, I want my players personally to really kind of take it all in, enjoy the moment, being there. Obviously, work hard, put forth the best effort you can. But I really want them to enjoy what's coming and the opportunity that's there. And I want them to fully embrace, you know, the media side of it, you know, the on-ice side of it, interacting with other coaches. You know, when you get to the next level, you're going to have a new coach. And, you know, how you interact with other coaches now just kind of gets you prepared for when you're interacting when you're at the next level. And it's going to be a good situation for everybody that's involved. And, you know, I think the league does a really good job of putting on this event and taking care of the players that come up. And it's not a popularity contest. We're putting the best players in the league in the game to perform against each other, to, you know, maybe help them again with the colleges showcase themselves a little bit more against you know, individual talent. And, you know, if there's some comparisons there, it's easily sorted out when you play games like this.
Perfect. Thank you for joining us, Coach.
Thanks for having me, and I look forward to seeing you guys in a couple weeks.
Same here.
Take care.
All right.
Welcome back, hockey fans. Dan K, Lucas Jones. We had a chance to unleash the rosters to you. We hope it all worked out the way you wanted to. I know it's such a tough situation. Think about just how good this NCDC's been this year. We have had teams jump as high as second place that have sat in the 10 spot. We have had teams that were in dead last that have jumped as high as third. The parity in the league this year has been just unrivaled. We got the chance to see the Powell Junior Islanders in their last game against the New Hampshire Junior Monarchs that we got to do a game of. And I mean, the speed from that team that found itself towards the bottom of the standings, this league can go in any direction right now, and the amount of talent in it is just unrivaled.
Yeah, you know, the amount of talent in the NCDC division boiled down into two teams. I mean, you got to be there to witness it yourself, I think.
Yep, you really do, and you're going to be there. Martin Luther King Day, we'll be there all day long. We're getting in Sunday night, so we can be there bright and early. Monday morning, getting prepared for these guys. We're going to have interviews with them. We will have live content on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter on site there with the guys, with the boys, with the team, talking to them, 18U and 16U as well. We will have all three age levels, NCDC, 18U, 16U, all-star games. We're going to be on the broadcast for the NCDC game. It's going to be such a good time. We're going to have on-ice interviews during the game. We're going to have player interviews while the action's going on. I may do play-by-play for the bench with Jim Henkel as my color commentator at one point, while Lucas jumps to the other bench to talk with the other side of the ice. Lucas has picked Team National. He has taken the Mike Anderson and Jim Henkel side. I have been Team Dan K. I have picked Team American. And I have picked Toby Harris and Ryan Frew. And we will see just who wins. You can let us know at home. Reach out to us on Twitter, Instagram, or Facebook and let us know what you think the loser should have to do, be punished with, whatever. The loser of the game. So let us know, and we will have some fun with it. But for now, that's all we have. Lucas, parting words for the All-Star Selection Show. Let's do that hockey, ladies and gentlemen. Let's do that hockey. Boys, bring it. There's going to be a ton of scouts in attendance. Martin Luther King Day, an open day for a lot of these college coaches. This is an opportunity. It's an opportunity to be seen, eyes on you. We got a few guys here in this game that are going to have a chance to absolutely reshape and change their future, playing around some of the best talent the world of hockey has to offer. When Dan K's on the mic, it's always hockey night. Team American takes on Team National Monday, January 21st, 2019. That's right. It's a new year. new chances for new commitments. It's hockey time, ladies and gentlemen. Next time you see us, we'll be on Hockey TV with your NCDC All-Star broadcast. And K. Lucas Jones signing off. That's good. We did good.
Yeah.
That's going to be a really good game.
Mm-hmm.
It's going to be fun. It's going to be a good time.
It's going to be fun.
It's going to be fun.
We're all going to have a nice
We're all going to
time.
have a good time. Everyone's going to ELE. Everybody loves everybody. Number one rule, right?
Mm-hmm.
ELE.